Greetings, my name is Diana Rendon and this is my second video for Pasantías Preprofesionales Second Bimestre. In this video, I will explain how I would approach a 45-minute class for the students in second of baccalaureate, segundo de bachillerato. Today's topic is healthy environment. One thing I forgot to mention in my previous video is the book I am using for planning these lessons. I am using the book by the Ministry of Education, also known as the government book. First off, I would like to explain something that shows often in my lesson plans. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, here is my lesson plan. And here is community language teaching. I explained this in my videos for the first bimester, but it is important that I explain again. In my methodology, I have a community language learning in every one of my lessons, but you will find it nowhere else in the lesson plan. That is because this methodology is always active in the background of each lesson. What this methodology tries to do is create a low anxiety environment for the students to practice the language in. Let's say a student attempts to participate in class by volunteering to read a few sentences and stumbles a bit in their attempt. This is followed by the students' classmates making fun of them. This negative experience could prevent the students from ever participating in class again. If the teacher does not put an end to this kind of behavior, being called to answer questions during English class could turn into a minefield. Situations such as this sour the environment of a class and are not conducive for learning. In comes community language learning by creating a community between the students that fosters respect, patience, and empathy. This method is trying to lower stressful situations in the classroom and has the students practice with the target language in an environment that is conducive to learning. And the student is more likely to engage and invest time into something they enjoy. Stephen Krashen's hypothesis of affective filter also suggests this. Self-confident, highly motivated students are more likely to be successful in acquiring a second language. I try in my classes, in my lessons, to foster and facilitate this through the use of community language teaching. And now for the lesson plan. Stop sharing the screen. Okay. I start the class by greeting the students. This greeting is a golden opportunity to help the students practice speaking the target language, while also reviewing subjects such as the days of the week, months, or even the weather. For the anticipatory set, I will ask the students to talk about energy sources, what they know, if they know about renewable energy. Renewable energy or clean energy comes from natural sources that are constantly replenished. For example, the sun or the heat emanating from the earth. Once the students have an idea of what energy sources are, I ask them to talk about their city's energy source. Since I am in Quito, that is the city I will use for my example. 50% of Quito's electricity comes from thermoelectric plants. These plants heat up water to produce energy. The energy Quito uses is also provided by oil. Uh, Electricity from oil, like energy produced from water, is heat energy and turns it into mechanical energy. Oil, of course, is a non-renewable energy source. Burning oil contaminates the air, the water, and the land. Once the students have learned about Quito's energy source, I invite them to discuss how good or bad these are for the environment. After the topic and the theme have been introduced through the anticipatory set, the next step is motivation. Motivation is addressed through the warm up activity. In the warm up activity, I will introduce a short video that uses colorful images to explain the difference between renewable and non renewable sources of energy. This video is fun, short, helps the students be engaged in class. Let's stop a second and share my screen. Okay, here we have the video I mentioned. As you can see, it's not long, almost less than exactly 3 minutes long. This helps keep the students engaged and helps me with my time management. It uses simple language and colorful images to quickly explain the subject. Let me show you. So here is colorful images, short video, renewable, non-renewable. This video is short, to the point, and is lucky me is very similar to the energy sources explained in the book. I'll stop sharing my screen now. At this point in the lesson, the students must have a very clear idea of what the class will be about. With that knowledge, I explain the objectives of the class, and using ThinkLink, I share a flashcard to help with the introduction of new vocabulary. Sharing my screen now. Mm. And here we have my presentation. As I explained in my videos from the first semester, ThinkLink is an educational platform that allows teachers to add useful links to images and share them with their students. The presentation this time around aims to be similar to flashcards with eye-catching and colorful images that have informative links for further reading on each one of them. For example, we have solar energy here, and if you click on the link, it shows you a video about the same topic. It is similar for the other images, and if time runs out during the lesson, the students who are interested simply can open the presentation and follow the links that interest them. Stop sharing my screen. Okay. Um, the students use the presentation along with the text provided to better understand the topic and participate in the discussion about Quito's energy sources. Afterwards, I ask the students to form pairs and complete a virtual worksheet that is shared with the help of the quiz.org. This is a teaching platform, while ThinkLink is an educational platform designed for both teachers and students, in which a student can create a project and share it with the class. That quiz.org is 100% aimed at teachers. This website allows teachers to create different kinds of tests and assign them to one or more classes. Here, let me show you. Here we have that quiz. Okay, this is the website I am talking about. What the student has to do after opening the site, they copy a code that is unique for each test. They go to the lower right corner of the page, like so, and paste the code. Here they enter. They do not need to register. This is only for teachers. The student only needs the code for his test. They enter. No, thank you. And select the name to start testing. So here what they have to do is type the word in the right spot. Here we have the word bank, and let me show you. solar energy. Yeah, okay. And in here, I cannot see it, but I hope you can. It shows you if it's right or wrong. In the instructions, I ask students that do not use capital letters since the answers are linked to lowercase. The test is set to ask students to retake the test if the score is lower than 90% correct. It has no time limit or date of expiration. Those could be set while designing the test. For close-up, I briefly talk about the energy sources of Quito, then ask students how these sources affect the environment in the city. Now, moving on to modeling, both grammar and vocabulary were introduced through the lenses of energy sources and the environment. Since these topics are not abstract and directly affect the students, they are much more likely to be engaged. These topics are easier to approach and put into perspective. In guided practice, I ask the students to work in pairs to complete the virtual worksheet. It is not that complicated, but it can be a little difficult for the students to figure out the instructions of not using capital letters or to navigate the website the first few times. As for independent practice, students work individually, researching a bit more about their city's energy source. For assessment, I show pictures of energy sources and ask learners whether that energy source is renewable or not. For homework, I'll ask the class to create a PowerPoint presentation in which they will talk about how climate change is affecting their city. Quito, for example, is set to weather longer winters. Rain is a primary concern for researchers who point out that Quito's sewer system is not ready to deal with the increased flow of water. So we'll see how future winters are in my city. And with that bit of information, I am going to end this video and I will see you again for video number 3. Again, thank you for watching. That is all.